Today's WikiLeaks email dump raises serious questions about how former President Bill Clinton and his aides generated millions of dollars for both the Clinton Foundation and the Clinton family, personally. Fox News Chief National Correspondent Ed Henry has the story.
While the sheer number of WikiLeaks emails has made it hard for allegations of pay-to-play at the Clinton Foundation to break through with voters,
the more emails WikiLeaks releases, the more lines between the Clinton Foundation, the Secretary of State's office, and the Clintons' personal financiers, they all get blurred.
Tonight, there are fresh signs Republicans may have hit pay dirt, literally, with a damaging email about former President Bill Clinton lining his pockets with cold, hard cash.
Just today, we read about Clinton confidant Doug Brand bragging that he had funneled tens of millions of dollars to Bill Clinton, Inc. through the foundation donations, paid speeches, and consulting contracts.
Donald Trump is referring to this long memo, which details the complex relationship between the Clinton Foundation and their money-making operation, cynically dubbed Bill Clinton, Inc., not by Trump, but by former Clinton confidant Doug Brand, now on the outs after he alleged the former president was cashing in. He charged there was a strategy to steer donors for the Clinton Foundation to hire Clinton for speeches and consulting contracts. A 2011 memo revealing the plan, quote, yielded more than $30 million for him personally, with $66 million to be paid out later. The explosive new email perhaps shedding light on why Hillary Clinton pivoted to the good work the foundation does around the world when pressed at the third and final presidential debate.
Why isn't it what Mr. Trump calls pay to play?
Well, everything I did as Secretary of State was in furtherance of our country's interests and our values.
Brand wrote the memo after Chelsea Clinton blew the whistle on allegations that his consulting company, Teneo, was making money off of access to her father. Brand's defense? Bill Clinton did it too, alleging in another email from a previous WikiLeaks dump, the foundation literally had about 500 conflicts of interest, such as a top official owning a large amount of stock in Goldman Sachs, which is a major sponsor of the Clinton Global Initiative.
Thank you very much.
Brand further alleged the former president was collecting money from at least 3 sponsors of CGI and had accepted large personal gifts as well. The Clinton camp is still refusing to even acknowledge the authenticity of the WikiLeaks emails, but Brand's company, Teneo, is confirming tonight that he wrote that memo and it's accurate. And they're insisting the company never received any financial benefit from working with the charity.
Ed, thank you. Those WikiLeaks disclosures have brought into focus once more the fact that the Clintons became very rich in a very short time. For more on this, we turn to our nightly political panel. Nina Easton, veteran journalist at Fortune magazine. Molly Hemingway, senior editor at The Federalist. Well, Molly, your thoughts about this? This kind of gets this out in the open and on the table once again at a kind of a key moment in the campaign.
Exactly. This memo makes explicit what we've known for a long time, which is that the Clintons have leveraged their foundation for personal profit, and that the foundation has always been sort of window dressing that helps explain why wealthy people, both foreign and domestic, are in the Clinton orbit. It would be unseemly to have an ex-president or a future president directly lobbying on your behalf, but if you can come together on some nice project and you can employ Doug Brand, the longtime Clinton aide, on the side to help you as you try to resolve some dispute with your chemical company in Kuwait, you need a friend in the State Department, well, that's just synergy. That just means that everybody's working well together. And so, but this makes it a little more explicit.
Well, and then, of course, what happens is that some of these people who give to the foundation are then encouraged to have Bill Clinton come make a speech for some staggering fee, and before you know it, the Clintons are racking up quite a significant fortune in not a very big period of time.
In a short time. So in the Clinton mindset, I think that Bill would use his power and influence as a former president to raise a lot of money for this foundation. There's nothing wrong with it. It is a foundation. It doesn't just do little things. It does big things. It helps earthquake victims in Haiti. It helps farmers in Africa. It helps on the HIV/AIDS front. I mean, you know, that was the mindset.
Yeah, it's
and the
a real foundation. We get that.
What these memos show is that there was a personal gain of in the order of tens of millions of dollars to Bill Clinton. The other thing it shows and kind of embellishes on is these octopus-like relationships that you referred to, Molly, and Doug Brand at the center of this. The one, by the way, who comes out the best in all of these is Chelsea Clinton.
How so?
Well, she accused Doug Band of trying to profit off of the foundation and ties to her father. And she did so and she wanted more corporate governance rules around the foundation.
But that was
and he called her in return a spoiled brat.
Well, that may be so, but the one thing, but she didn't call her father and her mother on the extent to which they were profiting from the foundation. So Doug Band, you know, he gets called on that, but at least he wrote a memo blowing the whistle on some of this. Chelsea gets credit perhaps for calling him out, but nobody called out mom and dad, did they?
No, they didn't. But you know, it's clear that Doug Band and Chelsea Clinton are real loggerheads, and she saw Doug Band as building his consulting firm and getting wealthy off of that, based on running the foundation and his ties with the Clintons.
Perhaps she was suggesting that money should not have gone to Doug Band, but to mom and pop. Molly?
Yeah, well, what's key here is just that they don't need to deny guilt in terms of how much they're profiting off of this, so much as muddying the waters, and they are muddying the waters. The Clintons are experts at muddying the waters, and so everything just looks very complicated. You can have some legitimacy for what you're doing, and it keeps them from being held accountable. But, you know, this is something that's going to be an ongoing issue. Presidents are powerful, ex-presidents are powerful, so this is an issue that people should keep on looking at.
Yeah, the Clinton Foundation isn't going to go away when Bill becomes, if he does, first laddie, as he once described it, and presumably his speech-making may continue.
And the emails are going to keep coming out. There's going to be investigations in Congress, and this is going to be, if she wins, an embattled administration.
Does this foundation become a millstone if she's elected?
Absolutely. This does, and that's why there was so much pressure, even from around Clintonites. Close down the foundation, at least, like, you know, put the parts of it into other foundations. You can keep the good works going. Let's just shut it down and make it a non-issue. And you know, they've tempered it and made it smaller and taken their roles out of it, but it's still there.
All right, Nina, Molly, don't go away.